Morrigan
That's
is
a line.
right. Solus is dangerous. Anything that gives us some insight into his plans. He fooled us all before, and the whole world very nearly paid the price for it.
We should go, Inquisitor. The armies in the south need you.
Right. Harding, stay sharp. You're my eyes in the north.
Always, Inquisitor.
Rook, good luck. If I come across anything else that can help, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you.
Okay. Travel to Hossberg Wetlands via Crossroads or the fast travel system. Hossberg Wetlands. What? Oh, right there. Okay. Do you think if the game was not titled Dragon Age, it would people be having the discourse they are having now? Okay, so Digits, in answer to that question, you're saying if it wasn't Dragon Age, would okay, the way I'm interpreting your question is if it wasn't a Dragon Age game, would people still be hating on it for the cringy stuff? And I think the answer to that is yes. Let's pretend it was just a new a game that was the first game of a new IP, and then it still had the cringe moments. Well, you've got that with, what was the recent game? Like Dustborn, Concord? Like there's multiple games that meet that description that failed in the last year. So yes, I do think that would happen. I think people would be having the same discourse. If anything, I think the name Dragon Age is what kind of helps. Like, this is not a bad game, but the name Dragon Age gets people to give this game a shot, and they might not have otherwise. So yeah, like if anything, the name Dragon Age is what helps kind of counter some of that. But yeah, I absolutely think they would have the same discourse. Because like I think overall gamers don't mind if you've got a game where you can be straight or gay or whatever. Just look at Baldur's Gate 3, smashing success. You can go in there and be whatever you want, but it doesn't put you into unskippable cutscenes that are 2 or 3 minutes long where you're shamed about using the wrong pronouns, stuff like that. I think that's the difference. In Dragon Age Inquisition, you could make a character and never asked if you were straight or gay or whatever, and then if you try to woo an NPC, they might be like, oh, sorry, I don't swing that way, because the NPCs had their preferences. Now, some of them, like Iron Bull, she was open for anything. But then you had others like Solus. You could only date Solus if you were a female elf. That's what he was into. That was his preference. If you were not a female elf, he didn't want to talk to you. Stuff like that. So, and some games have tackled, like no game has to tackle these issues. But the games that choose to tackle these issues, some certainly do it better than others. Never played a Dragon Age. What's the appeal? They're RPGs. It's in Dragon Age 1 and 2 and 3, you controlled a party of 4 people. At any given moment, you controlled one of them, and the other 3 were kind of running on autopilot. But at any moment, you could switch control of which character you were controlling, and you would do puzzles, and you were following a storyline where there is a very in-depth story in the Dragon Age world. Just to give you one of the biggest bullet points is the Blight. There is this stuff called the Blight, which happens every so many years, and it kind of bubbles up to the surface, and basically darkspawn, which are kind of like dead humans brought back to life, and they're like demonic and stuff, come running out on the surface. And there are people that train to fight this, that are called the Grey Wardens. And they can, if you go through the initiation for the Grey Wardens, they have you drink Darkspawn blood. It kills like half the people that sign up. Very similar to The Witcher. In The Witcher, half the people that go through the training to become a Witcher die from like drinking the potions or whatever. But if you survive it, you're able to sense the location of the demons. And also, if the biggest Darkspawn are basically dragons. If someone kills a Darkspawn dragon and they have not drinking Darkspawn blood, it'll just respawn somewhere else. It'll just regenerate from another creature. But if you have drank Darkspawn blood, and the Darkspawn spirit of the dragon will jump to you, and then you just kill yourself and you take it down. So that's why in the game the only people who can stop a blight are the Grey Wardens, but they die doing it. So depending on the nation in the game, some of them have respect and some of them people hate them and stuff like that. Because they're basically, imagine they're kind of like a military force that's useless, 49 years out of 50. And then for 1 year, they're like, oh, crap, we need them right now. So there's a lot of very interesting beats to the story, and it's been going for, this is the 4th game in the franchise, not counting DLCs. But yeah, I mean, it is a RPG. Hossberg Wetlands, by the way.
Rook, welcome to the Hossberg Wetlands. I'd say make yourself comfortable.
This place is...
Foreboding?
Yes. Well, foreboding is normal here, but it's worse than usual.
The Blight's always a problem
So the
in
French
Neanderthals.
elven archer
it's
is
not strange
also
to find a
an
corrupted
engineer.
patch of forest or swamp.
What is strange is the sudden surge of blight through the Hossberg wetlands. Much like the village you found, the blight here struck too quickly, and in strange forms.
It's choked the whole area, and the local village, Lavendel, was caught in it. But they're survivors.
Oh, you know what? Hold on, sorry. Another really interesting concept that's in the Dragon Age franchise I can kind of sell you on, which is a big part of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd game. It's not really been mentioned much in the 4th game, is the mages and the Templars. So the mages in this game, they pull, like when they channel magic, they pull it from the Fade. The Fade is kind of like, it's kind of like dipping your toes into like a demonic realm. It's very similar to the Warp from Warhammer, stuff like that. And if they pull too much magic all at once, they will become possessed by a demon. Basically, demons will come over with the magic and basically body jack them, and they will transform, and become like a abomination. And so mages, if they're untrained, will become, if they get like in a heated argument with someone and they pull in a bunch of magic, they will turn into a demon and will just destroy an entire village. So the mages in this world are often rounded up and put in towers. And in those towers are basically cops that are Templars. The Templars are supposed to give the mages a place where they can train safely, and if they get possessed, the Templars put them down. So they're basically like, guards for mage school, but they kill you if you fail because you turn into a demon. And it's meant to keep everyone else safe from the mages, and it's meant to keep the mages a place where they're not possibly going to accidentally kill their whole family. However, the mages aren't allowed to leave. So sometimes the mages are like, yeah, okay, this is how things have to be. And sometimes they're like, I want out of here. And, so there's a lot. And sometimes the Templars are evil. Sometimes the Templars are good, and sometimes the Templars are, bad cops. And so some of the towers, the mages and the Templars hate each other, and in other towers they get along great. And over time, this builds up, and there are times where you have to pick sides in the first game and the 3rd game. The 2nd game, you play a guy named Hawk, and you can choose if you're going to be a warrior, a rogue, or a mage. But Hawk's story is always Hawk's story. But he's got one sibling that's a warrior and one sibling that is a mage. And there's a lot of really tough choices you have to make through the story because of that. But it's really interesting. It's really interesting. There's so far in this, we've been able to just kind of run around with our mage stuff just fine. And of course, necromancy. Necromancy is in the game, and some people add it. Like the Inquisitor, who's your main character in the 3rd game. You're leading an army. You can learn necromancy if you're a mage and you choose that. And there are people that don't want to talk to you, and you have to you could choose to like try to hide it and keep it on the down low, because in their eyes, like, you being a mage is bad enough. You being a necromancer mage, like, that is really messed up. And so you could try to like keep it on the down low or like be open about it and stuff like that. RPG elements seem really cool about the gameplay. Dragon Age Origins was a game where you controlled 4 people, and at any moment you could pause and like switch between them and give them all orders and unpause and see them all execute those orders. So it was a game that you could almost consider turn-based or real-time depending on how often you paused. Dragon Age 2 was definitely, real-time, and you controlled a party. Dragon Age Inquisition was a little bit closer to what you're seeing with Veilguard. It was more action combat oriented. I will say, like, as the game became more action combat, it got worse AI. And what I mean by that is in Origins, you could set up entire AI schemes. I've never, ever, ever seen a game that had a better set up your party's AI system than Dragon Age Origins. For example, you could have your teammates, you could set up conditions such as if you go below 20% health, use a potion. If an ally goes below 90% health, cast regeneration on them. If an ally goes below 50% health, start casting big heal on them. If an enemy is within 3 meters of you, cast knockback. You could do really nice setups for your team in Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisitions, it was much more limited, and in this game, doesn't exist at all. So again, the diehard fans coming into this game, it's like, it's a different game.
I can be grateful for that.
If there was a place that needed wardens,
Then here we are.
As far as we can tell, the gods you're chasing weren't here directly.
If the Blights really changed, then the changes are widespread. As for how much,
I can almost sense something in there. Another sound under the Blight's usual song.
stories say Warden sensed blight. I never thought it was literal.
It happens when you join the Order. But that's more than I should say.
The Grey Wardens keep the initiation rite a secret because they don't want people to be afraid to sign up because they get so few signups as it is. So like if 4 people sign up, it's possible that 2 or even 3 of them will die when they take the when they drink the Darkspawn blood, and then usually just a letter goes home that says that they died in battle. So they don't advertise what happens during that.
when we met, you tried to block the sound out. Now you hear too much.
If it helps, that's what we're here for.
Huh. This is a Mournguard thing?
Become a warden, hear the blight. People think Watcher initiations are scary.
Do you work with spirits? That's not so bad. Demons, though. I don't like demons.
Things can get restless in the necropolis. Anyway, what's the plan?
We heard rumors of the surge here and volunteered to investigate. The first warden expects a report. Soon.
If we want proof the Blight's changed, then this place is where to find it.
But the way the Blight left the village, we've had our hands full just keeping it back and helping the sick.
You need more to study.
Yes. The odd growths the Blight has formed, like boils, they surround Lavendel. I need more samples.
Let's see. Another draw of the series was the choices thing. Oh, yes. Hang on a sec. There is a website called the Dragon Age Keep. And hold on a sec. Let me sign. Does it remember my sign-in? I don't remember my sign-in. Oh, God. Okay. All right. I'll just have to explain it. There's a website called the Dragon Age Keep. You can Google it. It'll come up really quick. You have to make a sign-in for it. And basically, you go into it. And let's say you're starting Dragon Age Inquisition. You can go into the Keep and go through like a list of like 50 choices you made in Origins or Dragon Age 2 before starting Inquisition, and it will change the world. Like, maybe Bob is the king. Maybe Bob's dead and his wife is the queen alone, you know? Maybe this guy in Dragon Age Origins, you killed him because he was a villain. Maybe you spared his life and forced him to become a warden to repent, and you meet him as a warden in Inquisition. Like, you know, it will, like, Inquisition had multiple spots where they're like, you know, put this character here, but if they killed that character in Origins, instead put this guy there, you know, and stuff. There's a lot of that in in Origins to Inquisition. However, in this game, because the branches had spread too wide, and I get it, but it was unfortunate. In this game, they basically ask you what were the last 3 choices you made at the end of Inquisition, which do affect the world a little bit, but other than that, they basically kind of get around it by not saying much. You know, they talk about the divine, they don't say who the divine is. It's kind of like saying there's a pope, but they don't say pope name, you know? It's like that.
Leave it to me.
You can't just handle Blight. I'll give you something to contain it. And watch for Darkspawn.
I'll try not to die.
We'd prefer you didn't.
So be careful.
He looks like he can't see if enemies come from the right-hand side. Destroy blight boils.
All right, let's find those boil samples. Looks like there's caves on the far side of the village.
You've been to the farmlands? There's a family. Voss. I'm close with them, with Ursa. They spoke of the Blight. The Blight. Before all of this happened. They knew. But if they knew, why aren't they here?
If I find anything, I'll let you know.
Lavendale Village. This can't turn out like Demetta's Crossing.
Can confirm my hair can act as horse
Still
blinders.
standing, and I'll fight to keep it that way.
Good night, Monkey Jack. Good night, Bluebell.
Yeah, that's our blight boil. Got a sample. Guessing they'll need more than one.
No, how Antoine experiments. Yes.
Got the sample.
We're getting there.
Don't drop your guard.
Oh, whoa, that one is thick. Alright, I was trying to save this, but... Oh, shoot. The beam doesn't... Okay, there we go. I was like, the beam's not working on the big fella. And then it worked. Okay, that one's dead. Alright, what do we got over here? Whoa! Toss me a soothing potion, call us on. Is there another spawner behind me? Let's see. Fight. Oh, I'm enjoying myself quite a bit, but this guy's got a lot of health. Oh, whoa. I got two guys in there, I think. No, I missed the dodge on that one. That hurt. Dang it. I cannot imagine doing this as like a warrior. It would be so annoying. Okay, I just scratched his hit point bar. No, that's not really his hit point. Oh my god. What? Okay, well, I guess he's just had some massive Giga shield this whole time, and his health is starting to move now for the first time. Alright, that was some damage. Dang it. I'm out of potions. He's almost half health. Oh my god. Wish I could hotkey this. Cooking. Use your taunt. I don't even know. That's my first time ever using his taunt and not using his damage ability, but I was really low health. This is a fun fight, but it's long and I really don't want to do it again.